All right, well, welcome to Backstage with Geoffrey Morrissey. As I've been joking, I am at my second home, which is Backstage at the Royale. This time I'm joined by Wet, which is a huge honor. Guys, I know this is a hometown show, busy schedule. Thank you so much for making the time for us today.
Thanks for having us.
And would you just be able to introduce yourselves to our listeners?
Hi, I'm Kelly.
I'm Marty.
I'm Joe.
Great, there we go. And then so you guys, as I mentioned, are sort of from the area. What do you like to do other than like seeing family when you're back in Boston?
Well, I'm from Jamaica Plain, so I like to
sweet.
go to JP and like stop by City Feed and get a sandwich and walk around the pond. That's usually what I do
Nice.
when I'm here.
I'm not from Boston at all, but when I'm here, I really like going to Cafe Sushi in Harvard Square.
I know you're a big sushi fan, and there are like
How?
tons of sushi places here. I know it's one of those things that you would never guess it by the interviews, but yes, I've always found that funny. You're like in Sushi Haven, like around here, so that's
No,
awesome.
yeah, there's some great spots in Boston.
Good.
You want my answer too?
Of course.
Well, I grew up outside of the city, and I still have a lot of friends here, so I usually like to just try and see people from home.
Perfect. Now, I know that you're big into sushi, but Kelly, I also know I read somewhere that you like to find a good coffee spot when in a new city. What's your go-to coffee place here?
I'm gonna get in big trouble. I'm just gonna have to be honest though. It's probably City Feed.
City Feed,
I go
okay.
there for the coffee. Let me think. There's also this place on Washington Street called. I can't remember this other place, so I'm just gonna go with City Feed.
I'll take it. So you guys recorded your debut album in Western Mass. How'd you guys decide to do that, and what effect do you think it sort of had on the record?
We had been in the city for 8 years because we all moved there for school and then stuck around for a while. So I think we were all just looking for a change, just looking to see if another environment inspired something new in the music. I don't think it really changed the sound particularly, but it did like make it easier for us to focus, and there was a little bit of a shift to more real instruments and less electronics, I think, while we were there, and maybe that was from being like away from the city and away from other electronic bands. I'm not sure.
And then, so this is your second time touring the album. You guys went on a tour in support of it, in January, February, come back with it now. What do you learn when you tour a record for that long? Sort of from when you first release it to now, what are some like intricacies that you pick up on it?
Well, definitely figuring out how to play an album live is a different process from making an album. And I think you learn a lot about the songs just trying to like figure that out. It's a fun and frustrating process.
I have nothing to add to that.
I
I agree with all of that.
Yeah, I mean, I think one thing that we all felt halfway through the last tour was like, wow, these songs are really slow live, in particular. Like, it's one thing to go home and put on a record that's slow and choose to do that, but I think it felt like for us and for the like energy in the room that it made us think about wanting to just think about tempo in general.
No, totally. And then when you released the record, you had a record release party for people. You sort of played it for the first time in was it like the Columbia headquarters or something like that?
No, it was actually this place called Electric Lady Studios.
Oh, even cooler. So
Yeah.
sweet.
Yeah.
That must be such a nerve-wracking process for the first time to have like 100 people in the room and you just play it for them. Could you tell us a little bit about what that was like?
I do remember being like hearing it very differently with everyone in the room and just really wondering how people were hearing it and if people were enjoying it. But we luckily had this nature video on that everyone was really focused on, and I think it made it much more enjoyable.
I'd just like to add that was the record listening party. We had our actual album release party at a place called Signal Gallery in Bushwick, which is run by our friends, and it's actually where we played our first show. So it was a really nice homecoming
360 moment.
Yeah, exactly. And it was a fun party.
Well, and that's always a good bonus too. I mean, and every fun party has to have good music as well. So y'all provide that.
I don't know who was doing. Oh, right.
Ismo.
Ismail. Okay. Shout out to Ismail. And then, so Kelly, I read a little bit that you were afraid that you kind of shared a little bit too much personal information. That was maybe a fear with this album. Looking back on it, do you still feel that way, or are you more comfortable with it?
I feel fine about it. I don't. It's not really a choice for me. Like, the things that I write about the things that I feel moved to write about are real things happening to me. So it's yeah, it is what it is. It's fine.
And I think people crave that honesty too, and you
Yeah.
can tell when it's not there.
That's good. That's definitely what I'm looking for in other people's music a lot of the time. And then sometimes you don't want to hear about it. Just like enough of that.
And then so in the middle of this tour, you guys have released 2 songs, The Middle and Turn Away. What inspired you to release these sort of, just 2 singles right when you started touring? Why now?
Seemed like fun, and we'd been working on them, and I feel like if they hadn't come out now, they probably would have gotten lost, because they definitely aren't album 2 material, and it seemed like maybe one of the last moments we had before starting to work in earnest on the second album to like release something. So it just seemed like the right time and the only time.
Nice. And then so you guys do a ton of these interviews, which I appreciate. They must get boring. So what do you wish that you got a chance to talk more about when we invade your dressing room for 10 minutes before a show? Food?
We love to talk about
There,
food.
there is really something nice when when it's like non-music stuff. Sometimes like asking like our favorite places to eat in different cities on tour, or like I don't know what are other good
Topics?
I guess non-music topics.
Not music
Fun to
topics?
talk about.
I was going to say, it must almost feel like an exercise in narcissism when all you do is talk about your own music, too.
Yeah.
It's weird to talk about yourself that much.
Yeah, I could never imagine being on the other end of the mic, which is why I'm so appreciative that you guys give us your time. But what's on your rider? What do you guys have to have in terms of food and drink in the backstage area?
Coconut water, chips, as you can see. Marty requested these little guys.
Sophia Coppola minis.
Ooh, intriguing.
A lot of water. We got this great butter that's been coming the last couple of shows that we're all just like devouring before we go on.
Land O'Lakes.
We don't really have that interesting of a rider, like kombucha,
Oh, okay.
some alcohol, beer,
All the essentials.
lemon, avocados.
I think Adam got your gummy bears.
Oh.
Yeah, gummy
But
bears.
I saw gummy bears.
Nice, and I can totally relate to the butter thing because you said Kerrygold. When I was in Ireland, that was the first thing I noticed.
Whoa.
I was just putting butter on everything.
Whoa.
So again, it was sort of like to stray away from the normal interview. Do you guys have a question for each other or a question for me?
Where's your go-to coffee place in Boston?
I was afraid you were going to ask that because Dunkin' Donuts because I'm around here.
I
but
love
like
Dunkin'
I can't.
Donuts.
And people who are not from here do not
Don't
get the
get
Dunkin'
it.
Donuts
No,
thing.
I
They're
love
like,
it.
you have one every 4 blocks, and I'm
Yeah.
like, yes, and
And
or 4 per
it's,
block.
It's its own kind of coffee. It's like sometimes I'm in the mood specifically for a Dunkin' Donuts coffee.
Yes, when you want something that's not quite Starbucks. But I don't know. I've been to like Cafe Nero, which is really cool.
Yeah.
There's a place we're based south of Boston on the South Shore called Lucky Finn in Situate, which is amazing. And then Boston Common Coffee too around here are like my 3 places. But all my gift cards and my student budget are at Dunkin', so that's where I tend to go. What's your go-to karaoke song, everyone? Like when you have the chance to get up there and belt one out.
Mine is "Do You Believe in Life After Love" by Cher.
Oh, there we go.
Mine is Just What I Needed by the Cars.
Oh, Boston Band. There we go.
That's right.
I refuse to perform karaoke.
Smart man. There, and then, if you guys could work with someone, who would you want to work with?
Like on music?
Music, or just like I don't know, maybe like fixing up the house in general.
Like work with
Yeah, anyone, living or dead.
Obama.
Oh my God, that would be so cool. His summer playlist on Spotify was amazing too.
Really?
He has good taste. Courtney Barnett was on there. That was like one thing. Yeah, which part of me wants to think that Barack is like walking the West Wing, like listening to Pedestrian at best, but something tells me that's not happening.
Someone suggested it. You never know.
His interns put it together. Yeah.
This is a hard one, Joe. Can you go first?
Michelle Obama.
Michelle Obama. There you go.
You can say Melania.
Joe Biden.
Joe Biden. Oh my God, I feel like just Joe. If you gave Joe a microphone, he's gonna find something
Handsome
interesting
old
to
Joe.
do.
Yeah.
Handsome old Joe. He was just in Boston Wednesday too. And then, so this will be my last question. I feel like I've taken up too much of your time already, but yeah,
Boat with the 3 of them.
you guys could go on tour with you could be the first trio, then they could play. That would be so cool.
That would be cool.
White
They form a family band.
for family band. Wet at the White House. I don't know, something like that. So who has your ear right now? Who have you guys been listening to?
We have been listening.
My mom.
Hi.
Ask her a question.
Oh yeah, let's talk to Joe's mom.
I brought tangerines.
Oh, hi, I'm so sorry. I always feel bad.
I brought swamp that people can we carry the stuff. Sorry.
Let's see.
It's okay.
Okay. So they want for me to ask you a question. Out of all of the Wet songs, or maybe even songs before Wet, what is your favorite that Joe has worked on?
He's worked on all of them, right?
Yeah.
Well, I like Baby You're the Best. That's my favorite, number one. And then, what's the one that was the last song?
This is live.
No, it's not live. It's not live, don't worry.
Remember at the listening party, the very last song?
These days.
These days, thank you. I could show you the cat video of These Days.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
There we go. Well, thank you so much. Perfect. Bye. Sorry.
I don't know.
This is literally...
About that video where we came up with all those lyrics for...
This is literally the second time this week I've interrupted a tender family moment with one of my interviews. Like, I knocked on the dressing room door, then the singer was like, yeah, sure, I have time for you. Then was like, everybody out! I'm like, no. And then she was like, that's my sister, my mother, my cousin. I'm like, yeah, kick them all out. But, yeah, I feel like, I'm sorry. Yeah, so that was my last question. Who has your ear right now other than Joe's mother?
I've been listening to Elton John a lot.
Oh, sweet.
I liked the new Jam City mixtape from last month. I liked that one.
Cool.
I am going to blank on this one.
You've been listening to Tim Hecker.
That's right. I've been listening to Tim Hecker's new record, which I cannot remember the name of because I just can't. It's like, what is it, like Shadows of the Heart? Or no, I don't. It's a Tim Hecker record, you know. It's something poetic.
There we go. Well, the band is Wet. The album is Don't You. They are on tour right now. Be sure to check it out when you can. Guys, thank you so much for the time and kill it tonight.
Thank you.